And we're live. Hello, 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 and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. It's more of Sorin's journey. It really feels like it's been longer than a couple of weeks since. Well, I suppose it has been longer than a couple of weeks because it wasn't. I only really did the Amanda stream last week. I streamed, but we'll. Oh, hold up. That would be a good idea to turn the audio for the game on. But last time we left Sorin, we just finished up the Four Lords quests. Got Suzaku and Seiryu on board, thanks to some very nice cooperative queue timers. And now we're ready to begin patch 5... No, not 5.3, 4.3. Under the Moonlight. Last thing that happened in the main story was... Had some interesting developments in Doma. Found Gosetsu again. He'd somehow meet in the company of Yotsu, who's lost her memories and is now calling herself, well, Gosetsu was calling her Tsuyu. And during all that, a envoy from Galmald came along, Asahi, who at first seemed a fairly decent guy. Wanted to try and make progress towards peace between Doma and the Empire. Until the very end, where he kind of revealed he's a bit of a disciple of Xenos. And anyone who idolizes Xenos has probably got a few screws loose up there. So, it's been a while. let's go and see what progress has been made. Hello, sir. Right. It's been a wee while. What have everything going on to Ruby Sea? Everyone? Alphino? Have you heard any news from Doma? Ah, Sorin. Impeccable timing. We've just received a letter from Lord Hien. Oh. As in, just not feeling well again, Mooney? Welcome to the stream, anyway. Oh, that kind of burning. Was it... Did you ask for it to be made spicy, or was this unexpected spice? Because one of those is nice, one is not so nice. He writes that the Domans are coordinating their efforts with the Blue Kohryu to maintain a constant watch over the Red. By staying on the lookout for signs of crystal hoarding and the like, they mean to nip any summoning attempts in the bud, thereby satisfying the conditions for peace set down by the ambassador. Unexpected. Unexpected spicy is not so nice. It's like my grandparents always say that they love both tea and coffee. But if you get tea when you're expecting coffee, it tastes horrible. Or if you get coffee when you're expecting tea, not expecting something can make it taste worse than it should. For the Garlean's part, the Populars have sent word that a vessel bearing Doman conscripts is soon to arrive in Yansha. It would seem that the prisoner exchange is to proceed as planned. Lord Hien requests your presence, and I share his view that you should be on hand at this critical juncture. Right, of course. According to the letter, Yotsu's memory is yet to return. So, looks like she'll be living out the rest of her days in Doma. Assuming the ambassador means to honor the agreement, of course. Before we get to that, however, I think it would be wise to assess her condition one last time. If the Domans have missed any change in her mental state, however slight, it would be better if Asahi weren't the one to spot it. Yeah, we hardly need to give him a reason to go back on his word. Agreed. Let us make straight ways for the Enclave then. Lord Hien will be waiting. Right. I trust you will cope in our absence, Tataru. Oh, don't worry about me. I'll be fine. Just be sure to come back safely. Right. Back to Doma. Before I do, though, I should just check my... Yep. Back to English. I do appreciate that it is that easy to change the language in Final Fantasy XIV. Wait. I have a... Yeah, there's an Aphor in the Enclave now. Let's take an acid juice. Ooh, that sounds very spicy. I'm really not great with spicy foods, but I always have to be a bit careful. I've been slowly increasing my tolerance to spice, but it's not something that happens quickly. Excuse me, sir. I'm here to see Lord Hien. Lord Hien is expecting you. May I show you in? Lord Hien, how's the situation? Ah, I see my letter reached you across the Ruby Sea. Thank you for coming so swiftly. Though I wrote at some length on the subject of the forthcoming exchange, there was one other matter I neglected to mention. You look like you were suffering. Yeah, I've been there before when it comes to spice. I've had people point out that they can see that I'm suffering. It concerns Gosetsu. As you may have observed, he returned from his ordeal rather the worse for wear, and despite his best efforts to conceal his condition, or perhaps because of them, he recently collapsed. Yeah, if you can't handle something I probably can't. That would be a fair assumption to make. He collapsed his... Good gods, is he alright? Confined to bed and grumbling without cease, but he has shown signs of recovery. He made me promise not to tell you, lest you worry unduly, which was all very well when you weren't here. Now that you are, however, I think it's high time you received some visitors. Might you spare him a moment? Yotsu has scarce left his side, and I imagine you are curious to see what has become of her as well. We will visit him at once. Sorin, Asahi, shall we? Right. Hope he hasn't been pushing himself too hard. He doesn't seem like the type who'd take forced rest very well.
Open wide now.
Are we
Pleased to you.
interrupting?
I'm not so frail that I cannot feed myself. I grow weary of the taste of gruel.
You don't like it? Can I fetch you something else?
Aye, wine. Or if that is not wholesome enough, I don't know. A sweet persimmon from Namai? I enjoyed them in my youth.
A persimmon.
Is
Nay, pay me no mind. I am full. Besides, we have guests.
It's still a little weird to see Yotsu like this. I'd say a little, it's...
I hope we are not interrupting your meal. We had heard you were confined to bed and thought you might welcome some visitors.
Confined to... A gross exaggeration. A trifle drained from my exertions, perhaps, but with a little rest, I shall be fighting fit again in no time.
There's nothing wrong with needing some rest, Gosetsu.
Take off your clothes.
Gosetsu, is this how you've been spending your time?
My lady, I assure you this is not...
It's not... what?
Off with them. We need to wash you. You stink.
Oh. Very good to see how much faith Asahi has in Gosetsu.
What are all these scars? There are so many of them.
Suppose a warrior like Gosetsu would have scars.
A life of battle will leave its mark upon a man. Is something wrong, Tsuyu?
It's nothing. I'm fine.
Yes.
But leave me be, woman! I will not be fussed over like some newborn babe.
Same old Gosetsu. Lord Hin? They make a convincing pair, do they not? On first acquaintance, I would think him a doting grandsire and her a model grandchild. Indeed, had someone told me a year ago that I would live to bear witness to such a scene, I would have declared them mad. That aside, I am relieved to see Gosetsu has lost none of his spirit. What of a turn of events. I mean, for her to suddenly be watching over him. Couldn't make it up. Although, I suppose Gosetsu is an old man. With the way he charges through life, it can be easy to forget. Aye, he has resisted decrepitude with the same defiance he showed the enemies of Doma. But no matter how adamant his will, no man can carry on forever. He has pushed himself beyond the limits of endurance too many times. Even if his health returns, the fact remains. He will never again be the warrior he once was. He has given all for his liege and land, and we will ask no more. And what of his nurse? If Yotsu is feigning that, well, she certainly has me fooled. This is no pretense. Who's this again? Oh, Yotsu. That was the wrong voice for Yotsu. I couldn't remember if that was Gosetsu suddenly storming in her. You, Gary. Out of all of us, I would have think you the hardest to convince. So, what makes you so sure? I have been spying on Yotsu from the shadows, waiting for the misstep that would betray her charade for what it was. But her mask has never slipped, not once. She has remained in character from the first. One evening I watched her she sat in her chambers, unguarded and alone. She had taken the dishes from the cupboard and was pretending to prepare dinner right there on the tatami. A child's game. Even the wariest shinobi would not go to such lengths. I can but conclude that her mind is truly broken. Well, that's good enough for me, and everyone else, I would hazard. Aye, the matter is settled. Yotsuyu will become Tsuyu, and begin a new life here in Doma. Before that can happen, however, we will need to present her to the ambassador one last time, to prove that her memory is truly gone. But I would not risk parading her in front of our returning conscripts. Her presence at the exchange would only stir up mutinous thoughts. Understandably, she's good as fastened to chains around her necks. Aye, which is why I mean to conclude this business with Tsuyu first, out of the sight of my countrymen. Will you help me? We are at your service. There is no higher purpose than the pursuit of peace. My thanks. The Garleans are on their way and we must prepare to welcome the ambassador. We will meet you at the docks of Tsuyu. Right. Hopefully our presence isn't needed, but... better safe than sorry. Given Asahi seems to have a personal grudge against me, maybe me showing up is a bad idea. Well, only one way to find out. Hopefully what we find out is positive. Rositsu. Indeed. I keep forgetting I could have used... you can use mounts in the Enclave. Althano? Shall I wait here then? Lord Hien should not be long. I'm trying to remember which of the... what was... which of... oh, never mind. There's another... one of the other, like, Shadowbringers or... Endwalker quest brings you back to Gosetsu. I think it's the one of the role quests in Endwalker. Is it heal? You always run to places. Yeah. I just kind of... my brain kind of associates like the Enclave with a city-state where you're not normally allowed to use mounts. My friends, have you seen Tsuyu? She is nowhere to be found. That's... what all the times to disappear. What? But the Guardians will be landing in a matter of moments. If she's fled, could it mean her memories have returned? I know not. Yukiri is scouring the streets as we speak, but it is possible Tsuyu has left the Enclave altogether. Where would she go? Captain, a word. Did you perchance carry a fair-skinned woman across the river? A fair-skinned woman, my lord? I do not rightly know. I think... yes. Yes, my lord. Now that you mention it, there was a lady among the passengers whom I do not recall having seen before. Her face was hidden by the brim of her hat, but I remember taking her hand to help her onto the boat. White as new fallen snow it was. Was she someone important, my lord? Have I done something wrong? Wrong? No, no. I was merely hoping to catch our guest before she departed. Be at ease, Captain. So she has left. It would seem Tsuyu has crossed the river. Kami, help me. No good can come of this. Oh. Ryu, do you want... is any of this helpful for me? Hey, passing. I think I'm mostly on the augmented Skaven stuff at the moment, so I should be fine. What do we do about this, Lord Ian? It seems that Tsuyu has gone unrecognized thus far, but Kami help us if someone catches a clear view of her face. I must find her before that happens. The responsibility for her disappearance, for all of this, lies with me, but I would ask for your aid nonetheless. We are at your service, Lord Ian. Now as before, let us make the crossing and begin our search. You go on ahead. Someone should let Yugiri know what we've learned. I'll join you on the other side. Right, no time to waste. We have no way of knowing where Tsuyu is headed, so we'd best divide our forces. I will take Kusakari and its surrounds. Alphino, if you would take the road to Castrum Fluminus. And Sorin, forgive me, but could I ask you to interrogate the residents of Yuzuka Manor? One of the Namazu may well have seen our quarry. If everyone is in agreement, let us board the skiff and hope the Kami smile upon our efforts. Right. So, my experience of getting information out of Namazu is not exactly... It's not something I'd normally rely on. Suppose, unless she came here directly, my best bet is probably asking any guards or lookouts. Maybe don't bother the ones on duty. Excuse me, sir. Welcome to Yuzuka Manor. Yes, yes. If there's anything you care to know, you need only a pale-skinned woman. I have seen no such traveler, I'm sorry to say. Most sorry. A scaly-skinned Namazu, on the other hand, we have in abundance. That's not much. Well, I suppose it maybe says she hasn't been through here. Is everything alright here? Unusually pale skin. Yes, yes, I saw this one on the way back from my fishing trip. She had just crossed the shallows east of here and was headed in a northeasterly direction, for the most part. Her steps did not seem certain. If you hurry, you might still catch her. Northeast. That's Namai. That... Wait, she couldn't have... Gosetsu had mentioned something about persimmons. Would she really have gone out on her own to just for that? That could be a problem. There are a lot of people at Namai who aren't particularly fond of her. I don't see her here. I really hope I can find her before she gets there. Soon after we left, or did she go missing? Tsuyu? Are you about here? No sign of her. Oh. Yeah, you said it's from a K-drama you watched before? She's beyond here, then. I don't see her, but... Hold up. That... I mean, it could just be a hat. Right? As familiar as it looks, if it is hers, though, without her hat, people are definitely going to recognize her. Sorin, before you ask, our search of Kusakari and its surroundings has yielded exactly naught. A safest chance reunion with you, I suppose. Mistress Alize has gone to assist her brother at the castrum. It was she who informed me of the situation. I joined Lord Heian shortly after. I think I've been following a trail. How did you fare at Yuzuka Manor? Any sign of our missing guest? Well, one of the Namazu thinks they may have seen her heading towards Namai. Towards Namai? By the Kami. If the villagers recognize her, it will not end well. We must hurry. You, Giri, and I will check the paddies. The village square is yours. Right. I really hope she's not going to the village square. Far too many people around here. Any sign of her? Of course, walking right through the...
Greetings. Might I have one of your... Wait! Please! I only wanted a persimmon.
She really was just... Kami,
save us! Her spirit has returned!
Okay, I need to figure out how to defuse this.
She's back from the dead to seek her revenge!
This isn't good. Lord Ian, I think we might be a little late. Right. Gotta try and do something.
It can't be. She couldn't have survived.
What did I do?
As if you don't know!
Good people of Namai, be at ease, I pray you. You have naught to fear.
Right. Hopefully they'll listen to Lord Ian.
My lord, forgive me, but what is that monster doing here? They told us she was dead.
I too was surprised to learn of her survival. More even than you, I would hazard. 'Twas I who cut her down, I who left her to her fate. But it would seem the Kami had other plans. By some miracle, both she and Gosetsu were spared when the keep collapsed, though Yotsugu's preservation came at the cost of her memory.
You're saying she's forgotten? Forgotten everything she's done?
Lies! Lies, my lord! She would say anything to escape punishment!
What does it matter? We have not forgotten her crimes, and we demand justice! I beg of you, Lord Heian, draw your blade and rid us of this canker!
This is...
What I saw then. It's all true.
See?
I'm sorry! I'm so sorry.
Did she remember?
You're sorry. And what? We're supposed to forgive you?
Here, there's no need to cry.
That's...
Can't you see how scared she is? How can you be scared of her? She's not the same.
Children really are different.
Until such time as her memories return, this woman shall be known as Tsuyu, and treated as a citizen of Doma.
Yeah. No, the Yotsu stuff really is good. I think especially if you've done the side quests of in what's the area called? I've completely forgotten. The first area of Girabania. I've forgotten. You've got the peaks, the locks. What's the first one? It's completely gone out of my head. But the quests about Black Rose, and you have the Garlean scientist who created that who deliberately forgot things to try and escape punishment. Because it's kind of the contrast between, like, does it make a difference if their intention in forgetting was different? The Yotsu didn't choose to forget all her crimes. But does that give the new her any more? I just always found it like an interesting comparison to have in the same expansion, more or less. Two villains who both forgot their crimes and were trying to live again as just normal, innocent people.
I will, however, see that she is watched at all times. Rest assured that there will be no more unannounced visits to the village. As your lord, I ask that you leave her fate in my hands and suffer her to live, for now.
For now, Lord Ian?
Please, Issei.
To be fair, I enjoyed the whole of Stormblood. I feel it mainly suffers because it's a in between Heavensward and Shadowbringers.
All right. I'll keep my peace. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters.
You know, playing through Sorin's journey, I even enjoyed the Titan Banquet quests in A Realm Reborn. I think for me in Final Fantasy XIV, there's no bad bits. There's just varying degrees of good. See? I don't know why everyone is so angry, but I got the fruit Gosetsu wanted. I hope he likes it. Lord Hien? That would have been better avoided, but at least it did not end in bloodshed. And judging by Tsuyu's reaction, she remains oblivious to the events of her former life. This was no escape attempt. Nay, it seems it was an offhand request of Gosetsu's which brought her to Namai. She came in search of a persimmon. Huh. And they say fruit is good for the health. I do hope Gosetsu finds the taste to his liking. Well, we have certainly taken the long way around, but let us continue on to Castrum Fluminis and our meeting with the ambassador. Alphino and Alize should still be there, conducting their search. Right. All ready to head off? All this needs to go is peacefully. And Golemald has their prisoners back, Doma has their prisoners back, and is that the ambassador's transport dock there? Hopefully we're not too late. We hardly need to give him any excuse to Alphino, how are things here? Lord Hien informed us of the uproar at Namai. I think the 12 you found Yotsu when you did. I dare not think what might have happened had you not. How's she doing now? Do we have to stay here long? He'll be waiting for his fruit. Still thinking of Gosetsu. It seems our imperial guests have already arrived. It is time to meet with the ambassador. There he is. What's with all the boxes?
What a pleasure it is to see you once more, Lord Hien. Not to mention my dear sister.
A pleasure to see you too, Ambassador. Forgive us our late arrival. You have our people aboard the airship?
Still far away from us.
Exactly as agreed. We would leave you in no doubt as to the purity of our intentions. I dare say it was the self-same spirit of cooperation which prompted you to bring Yotsuyu here today.
Indeed. Before excluding her from the exchange, I thought it only fair that you see her condition for yourself. Physically, she is in fine health, but her mind is unchanged.
So I see.
Will they believe us?
But all need not necessarily be lost. In anticipation of this tragic turn of events, I took the liberty of inviting some special guests.
I don't trust this guy. What kind of guests is he talking about? I don't think I recognize these two.
Ah, Yotsuyu. You look well.
Sue? Is everything alright?
Of all the people.
Lord Hien? You know who they are?
Is something wrong, dear sister? These are our beloved parents. Does not the sight of them bring back sweet childhood memories?
From what I've heard of Yotsu's childhood, I wouldn't imagine so.
Gosetsu. I have to take this to Gosetsu.
It would seem my little surprise was not sufficient.
Is he trying to force her to regain her memories?
You needn't glare at me so, Lord Hien. I merely did what any loving son would do for his family. Lest you doubt, I am content to leave the acting viceroy in your care. Pray, treat her as you would any daughter of Doma.
What is that?
Do not grow too fond of this place, dear sister. You will come back to us ere long.
Yep.
We continue with the exchange as planned, then.
Very good. The structure across the river should serve our needs. We shall await you there with the conscripts. If you would bring your captives.
Agreed. Until then, Ambassador.
Right. You ever wonder, like, what it would have taken for Yotsuyu to have the same change of heart as Cordola had? I knew better than to trust Asahi, but that was a dirty trick. Still, unpleasant as it was, we have at least put the matter of Tsuyu's future to rest. I have sent her back to the Enclave of Yugiri to give Gosetsu his precious persimmon. Come, let us follow them. Right. Alf? You have that look, Alphino. What is it? Oh, nothing of consequence, most like. We can discuss it upon our return. Right? Well, he wouldn't be Alphino if he didn't have something on his mind. We should pay a visit to Gosetsu and reassure him about Tsuyu's fate. He will want to know that the Empire has finally relinquished its claim on her.
Gosetsu, are you awake?
My lord, come in, come in.
Good to see you're still resting.
When Tsuyu returned, her eyes were red from weeping. She spoke not a word, simply sat and peeled some fruit she'd brought for me. She then claimed weariness and retired to her chamber. Tell me, what happened to upset her so?
I suppose a day like today would be, if you couldn't even remember what you'd done.
The ambassador arranged a surprise reunion with her foster parents. A misguided attempt to restore Yotsuyu to her senses. It was plain their presence caused her great distress, but she seemed otherwise unaffected.
Yotsuyu was mistreated as a child, was she not? It was a cruel trick to use her tormentors like that, knowing the pain it could cause.
I like this Asahi less and less.
I think we all do, Gosetsu.
Be that as it may, he has agreed to allow Yotsuyu to remain with us in Doma. Our primary concern now is to hand over the prisoners without incident and bring our people safely home.
There was one other detail at the meeting which caught my attention.
Oh, I'm finally ready to share, Alphino?
I assume you all noticed the rather suspect crates within the castrum. The Imperials were quick to retrieve them afterwards, but I wonder.
I was a little curious about that as well.
Out with it, brother. You fear they might contain bombs or war machines?
If the ambassador wanted me dead, he has had ample opportunity. No, assassination is not his intent, but we should be on our guard for other acts of treachery.
Right.
My lord! Forgive me, but the Lady Yotsuyu, she's gone!
Again?
Gone?
I beg your pardons, my lords. I was certain she'd fallen asleep.
No, no, the responsibility is mine. 'Twas I who gave her a room instead of a cell. She may simply have wandered outside. We will organize search parties. Might I call upon your assistance?
Of course. Hopefully she hasn't left the Enclave again. Right. Come on, not you. It's you.
Help! Help!
What? This is... Your...
Help! Help me!
Yotsu's... Not again. This is... Hello there, Tsukahara. Welcome to the stream. It's not doing too bad. Finally getting back into streaming after moving house. Yotsu ran away. Why?
If only I hadn't remembered.
She did remember. That's...
He should hate me.
She don't... That's...
But I will not suffer his kindness. Not after what I did to him.
She was...
Who's there?
Oh, it's you. What are you doing out here in the dark?
They just happened to show up.
This is the Enclave, is it? When the soldiers dragged us back to Doma, you were the last person I expected to see.
Of Northern Ireland? I am indeed from Northern Ireland.
You're the bane of our existence, Yotsuyu. A font of misery.
It's not something she needs to be hearing. I'm not just from North. I do still live in Northern Ireland. Oh. Not often I see more people from Northern Ireland. It's a small country.
You couldn't even do us the simple courtesy of dying, could you? Oh, no. You had to live and taint us with the shame of your failure. We had a perfect life in the capital, and now they're making us wallow in this muddy ruin like common swine. I don't deserve this.
Where at? I'm in around Antrim area. And that's about as far as I'm willing to say on stream.
Now, dear, that'll do. There seems little point in berating the girl when she scarcely remembers her own name. Our time would be better spent contemplating how we're to survive this unhappy predicament.
My geography's so bad I don't even know my home country.
You've kept your looks at least. I suspect you'd fetch a handsome price with the right buyer. Maybe enough to get us to Kugane and start a new business.
Yeah, it is one of the things that kind of... I've been thinking kind of this stream that it's... Their accents are very clearly not Japanese or even Asian in any way. I feel that's... from what I know, that's something they did differently in Endwalker. I think for the voice actors for people in... Oh, what's it called? Razahan? that they did get Indian voice actors for it. But I haven't heard much of the English voice acting in Endwalker. Was he seriously about to?
Ah, my beloved parents. No sooner do I wake from gentle slumber than the world returns in all its cruelty. Yes, this is how it always was. How it was meant to be.
She...
Very well. If I cannot escape my nature, then I shall embrace it. To the very depths I have sunk, my soul steeped in spite and rotten to the core. The self-righteous hide behind justice, but I need no such mask. Father, Mother, was it not you who made me into this monster? Who taught me the truth of this miserable world? For years I knew naught but the taste of pain and humiliation. But the time has come to savor my vengeance against Doma. Against all my enemies. And it begins with you!
Yotsuyu! What?
Oh. How am I going to... Wait. So he was there as well?
Well done, dear sister. Did I not say you would come back to us?
Brother dearest, what a surprise. You always were a cold-blooded little worm. I doubt you thought twice about sending our parents to their deaths.
Your dagger yet drips with their blood, and you presume to judge me? To be frank, I didn't think you had the strength to slay them so cleanly. A single thrust each. I'm impressed. But surely you can't be satisfied with murdering a pair of doddering elders. You yearn for a deeper vengeance, and the power to see it through.
He's plotting something. What is that? Yotsu had it before. Come on, Echo, could you not have shown me a little more? What's he planning?
Please. I don't want to die.
There are some people it's hard to have pity for.
Any sign of her?
Not myself,
What
Lord
happened
Ian.
here?
Nothing good. I've got news.
I knew what would happen if she recovered. And still, I did nothing. You say she left with her brother?
As far as I can tell.
Whatever he wants with her, he was willing to pay for it with his parents' lives. But this is neither the time nor the place. We must gather the others.
Right. Time is one thing I don't think we have right now. don't think she needed to stab him again. He's an old man. And an old man who'd spent years being pampered in the Imperial capital. We have recovered Nayuri's remains, and we will hold the Sarmatian anon. Would that they had never again set foot in Doma. I broke the news to Gosetsu myself. He was quiet. I think it best that he be allowed some time alone with his thoughts. Of course. What's our plan here? I didn't see much, but Asahi's definitely planning something. So, my friends, that which we had feared has come to pass. Yotsuyu has regained her memory and returned to the Imperial fold. It is, by any measure, a cruel twist, not least for Gosetsu, but one which does not invalidate our agreement. According to the terms of the contract, we were bound to surrender Yotsuyu into the Guardian's hands should her condition improve, prior to the hour of exchange. By that reckoning, all is, if not as it should be, then as it must be. This I can accept. But what I cannot accept are the unconscionable lengths to which Asahi went to achieve this outcome. Given his recent conduct and his apparent admiration for Xenos, it is plain he cannot be trusted. And that is to say nothing of the unexplained containers he insists on bringing to our meetings. Whatever the ambassador is planning, I think it unlikely our negotiations will end peacefully. In the event of hostilities, the safety of the conscripts must be our first concern. As such, I would have an escape route in place before the meeting begins. A wise precaution. If the main structure of Castrum Fluminis is to be the stage for the exchange, then I believe a thorough inspection is in order. The citadel has stood empty ever since the Imperial withdrawal. While we took steps to ensure that it could not be defended by an occupying force, it is entirely possible that the ambassador has arranged things there to his advantage. I will slip inside and make certain we have an unobstructed exit. Pray allow me to join you. I have some experience of Imperial facilities, and should matters take a turn for the worse, I would hope to be of at least some use. Very good. That should be enough to guarantee us a way out of the castrum. Beyond that, however, we will need a ship to ferry the conscripts back to the Enclave. Even with every skiff we have, it would take several trips to evacuate everyone. A Confederate Sekibune, on the other hand, would require only a single run, and leave us far less vulnerable underwater. Assuming, of course, Rasho can be convinced to part with one. Might I take the lead on this? I've had dealings with Rasho and his pirates before. And I won't be alone, will I, Sorin? Right. We should be able to negotiate something. Much appreciated. I quite fancy parleying with pirates again. It's just a shame Lacey won't be there to reprise her role. I am certain you would make a persuasive pair, but I think I will accompany you to these negotiations all the same. My lord, the ruler of Doma should not be seen consorting with common brigands. Come now, Yugiri. They stood with us against the Empire. If we would ask their aid once more, we must treat with them as equals. My presence shall serve to demonstrate our sincerity. Indeed, my lord. Pray forgive my presumption. By your leave, Master Alphino and I shall be about our task. Right. A moment or two since I've talked with the Confederacy. And we should be on our way to Onokoro. Time is short, and Rasho may take some convincing. Right. I think our favors are all kind of evened out with the attack on Doma Castle, so I wonder if they'll have some other task for us to work on. Excuse me. Hello? Rasho? It's been a while. Now there is a face I did not expect to see. What brings the noble Lord of Doma into the company of bilge-rats such as we? You've come to offer Doman chains in place of Garlean ones. I'm afraid you've wasted a trip. And what fine subjects you would make. With your fleet at our disposal, our restoration efforts be hastened tenfold. But let us speak seriously. I stand before you not to demand your fealty, but to request your aid once more. Well... Mayhap you're confused. Doma's liberation was but a means to an end. We aided you only to save ourselves. Now we have no such incentive. We have sworn no oath to you, and will not come running like hounds at their master's whistle. And I would not presume to treat you thus. I come to petition your cooperation as an ally of equal standing. Equal standing, you say? Seems a bit lopsided to me. Where's the profit for us in all of this? Profit. Must you always think in such short-sighted terms? Have you ever heard of doing the right thing? Have you ever heard of pirates, little miss? You'll find we're simple souls. You pay our tithe, you sail in peace. Deny us our due, and we take it by force. We'll pull you out of the water if we see you drowning, but we're not in the business of doing something for nothing. Calm yourself, Mr. Salazar. We did not come here to moralize. We came here to talk, and there is more to be said. According to records recovered after liberation, relatives of your Doman-born brethren were among those conscripted into the Imperial Army. And as you may be aware, we recently negotiated the return of said conscripts. Many, alas, will arrive to find no families waiting for them, no homes to grant them shelter. I would ask that you offer them a place in the Confederacy. You would not be rescuing strangers, but welcoming brothers and sisters into your ranks. And has the Confederacy not been in need of new recruit? You seem well informed of our affairs, Lord Hien. The losses we suffered at the Garlean's hands are no secret. And since we drove them out of Doma, the Ruby Sea has come alive with traders and travelers. So many vessels to tax, so few pirates to tax them. We could do with some more hands on deck, and doubly so if they're familiar with the inner workings of the Empire. So is that a yes? Very well. The Confederacy agrees to your request. You will have your ship. But before that, you must do something for me. The vessel I have in mind was damaged during your battle with the Empire. Though we have mended her, she has yet to be declared seaworthy. She is sound enough down below, but when you load her up with conscripts and the waterline rises, those upper planks had best be free of cracks. Assuming you want your people to stay dry, you will do me the favor of swimming around the hull to check for weaknesses. That is, if Doman lords are not averse to getting their robes wet. Not this, Doman lord. If we each inspect a third of the ship, it shall be done in a trice. That is the spirit. The ship is moored at Quickscape Pier. Our apprentice shipwright will be on deck to hear your report. Look for a lad named Ihanashi. Rasho looks like he uses high quality. Oh, I apparently need to change my shampoo and conditioner. I was talking with my sister yesterday. She was telling me off for using the brand I'm using. That it's apparently really not good for my hair. Particularly because my family has rather thin hair. That I should be using a mousse more than I should be a gel. Not gel. Whatever it's called. Here, looks stupid. No. So I'm hoping to get... She's gonna... Some point in town this week, she's gonna show me a decent brand. And I thought I had a knack for parlaying with pirates. For the record, my previous attempt was an unmitigated success, and yes, I should have quit while I was ahead. Well, it's all worked out. Well, well. I thought the rumors exaggerated, but the young lord lives up to his reputation. It's actually as well, like, I have stopped being so I get what works. I'm actually trying to focus on promoting my hair's curliness. I've given up on trying any attempts to keep it straight. Right. This is the ship. Oh. So looking for any cracks above the waterline. It seems okay here. Lord Hien, how are you doing? Oh, the water is so invigorating. I've not swum in the Ruby Sea since... I should be concentrating on the task at hand. Not seeing anything here. Alzay, you holding up okay? Once, I'm actually glad Yugiri isn't here. I doubt she would have taken kindly to a pirate inviting Hien to inspect his hull. What about over here? Any damage? Oh, that looks like it might be a problem. What was his name? The apprentice shipwright up here? Lord Hien. I didn't care. Oh, yes, I feel like Sorin is the type to do that, especially like if they are... Like, it took him a while to stop referring to the other scions with Mr. or Ma'am. I'm the shipwright. Apprentice shipwright. Did you find anything that might need attention? The section I inspected seems solid enough. Most of it seemed fine. I did notice a crack down at the, how would you say, port bow? On the port side near the bow, you say? Alright, I'll have a look and see what I can do. My apologies, I seem to have lagged behind. I could float in that gentle sea all day. Otherwise, I am happy to report no visible cracking or holes in my section of the hull. Your Lord Hien, the captain sent you to inspect the hull. Kami have mercy. Forgive us this discourtesy, my lord. It's quite alright. In fact, I rather enjoyed it. I take it you were of Doma. Yes, my lord. The Imperials took my father away after the uprising. I had nowhere else to turn. The Confederacy became my family. But... someone told me they're releasing the conscripts now. Maybe my father will be among them. Not that I can go back. There's no leaving once you've joined. How fares our lady? Is she seaworthy? Is that Rasho or Tassi? Oh, Rasho. Captain, we found a small crack in the port side, but I'll have it fixed before you know it. I see you have met the boy. Did he tell you his story? He babbles when he is nervous. Should his father be among the conscripts, as he hopes, I mean to give him the choice to leave this life. If he so chooses, I expect you to see they are provided for. I have heard that those who joined the Confederacy forswear all ties of kin and homeland. Is that oath so easily put aside? If I allow it, I see in him the lad I was 25 years ago. You say the words, you mean them, but the yearning for home still lingers. My family is long dead. I know this life is my lot, but he has scarce dipped his toes of us. If there is a life for him in Doma, he should have the chance to live it. Well said. The Empire's conquest has uprooted many and more, be it in Yanshur or out here on the Ruby Sea. We have a duty to ensure that the Ihanashi and others like him are free to dwell where they desire. I don't know why that name suddenly tripped me up. Then the matter is settled. I will make preparations to cast off. Right. Well, my friends, it seems we have our ship. Let us return to the Enclave. Right. Just hope it all goes smoothly. I think the best we can hope is that Asahi's whole plan was just getting Yotsuyu back. But what he was talking to her about, vengeance, and the power to achieve it. Something's happening. And it's certainly not good. Lord Ian? It seems that Yugiri and Alphino completed their task before us. They have been waiting. We scouted the structure and determined the swiftest path to safety. In the event of hostilities, we will lead the conscripts outside with all possible haste. From there, the Confederacy has pledged a ship to ferry us across the One River. Now we have but to attend the exchange and pray to the Kami these precautions were unnecessary. Dexterity, why not? While we were putting our contingency plans in place, I left Kohryu in charge of organizing transport for the Imperial prisoners. He will see that they arrive at the appointed hour, leaving us free to rendezvous with our Confederate allies. Come, they await us on the riverbank, not far from the castrum. Okay. This is the moment. I want to believe this will all go well, but more and more I get the feeling that Asahi's going to try something. Question is, what? I wonder if Alphino's right, it has something to do with those crates they had. Oh, hello. Oh, is that the bait? Like the foxy lady. Oh, 40 seconds left on it anyway. Oh, it goes. Until I'd like to try to attempt that fate, but I don't think I'm doing it in 30 seconds. And I imagine that's one of the ones where you need a party to do. Right. We all assembled? Yeah, big fate. Your party is assembled then. Aye, and ready for what lies ahead, I trust. Lest there be any confusion though. The tower across the water is to be the scene of the exchange. That and whatever else Asahi has planned. You need many parties. I've never actually seen the Fate before. I've seen the Fox Lady around several times. But that's the first time I've actually seen the Fate. I think there's only one of like the really challenging Fates that I've ever completed. That was the one in Calusia in Shadowbringers. the big the reskin of the Alexander boss. But regardless of the ambassador's intentions, we will bring our people home. You, Gary, you are to evacuate the conscripts at the first sign of trouble. Oh, no, I beat the Odin fate in the North Shroud as well, on one of my alts. So yeah, I've managed to defeat 2 of them. Yes, my lord. We, meanwhile, shall cover their escape and lend what support we can. Ixion, that's the one who appears in the locks during thunderstorms, isn't it? Your ship awaits at the Castrum's loading docks. She will see you safely home. Then all stand ready to play their part. Come, let us be about it. Right. Excuse me. Crates are here. I need to keep my eye on those.
At last, the hour has come. The conclusion to these negotiations will mark a new beginning for Doma and the Empire. A first step on the road to peaceful coexistence.
What is he scheming?
Indeed. We are ready to proceed with the exchange when you are. Forgive my curiosity, Ambassador, but is there a purpose to these containers you bring with you?
I suppose we could just straight out ask.
The supply crates. They are filled with materials we hoped might be of use in Doma's restoration. I meant to gift them to you at our last meeting, but we had so much else to discuss.
For some reason, I don't quite trust on that.
How very generous. I confess I had not expected such compassion, welcome though it is. But then I was also surprised by the news that one of our captives had delivered herself into your custody ahead of time. A minor discrepancy I shall overlook in the spirit of the occasion.
Are you perhaps referring to me, Lord Hien?
Yotsu.
Yotsu.
Orphan of the Nairi, widow of Sashihai, and acting viceroy of Doma. You and your people are mine to govern, mine to punish.
She's definitely back.
Well, well. It would seem your shattered mind is mended. As per our agreement with the Ambassador, you are free to return with him to the Empire. Your authority as acting viceroy, however, is no longer recognized here.
My position is not for you to decide, little lordling. All who resist the rule of the Empire must be purged. Such was the order given to me by Lord Xenos himself.
This isn't the peace talk we were expecting.
I will reign here in this putrid, pestilent swamp until the last of you has been broken.
That's that mirror from before. What is it?
This land shall know no dawn. I will spew forth darkness and drown all in eternal night. And high above you I shall shine, uncaring, cold and distant as the moon!
crystals. Wait. They wouldn't be. It's like
What
Shiva.
has she done?
Oh,
Lord.
gods. This is a summoning.
What's he? Asahi.
A Dorman citizen has called forth an icon in direct violation of our primary agreement. The negotiations have failed. Abandon the captives and make preparations to withdraw.
Wait.
But Ambassador!
Disobey me, Pilus, and you disobey the Emperor. Make preparations to withdraw! Now!
As you command.
That was his plan all along? If it's a primal though.
My lord, you must fall back!
You ask me to run?
Lord Hien, if she's a primal, she has the power to temper people. This is a fight I can fight.
Ah, against such a foe, I would be more hindrance than help. We will withdraw, but not without our countrymen. I want every soul accounted for. Every soul!
To deceive your enemies, you must first deceive your allies.
My lord.
Right. I can still get away with the prisoners.
I knew you would not flee. I see now the strength which flows from that baleful light of yours.
Right.
But I am become Tsukuyomi, goddess of the moon and divinity of night. What power can compare to such celestial majesty?
I've only just noticed it. Does Tsukuyomi have bunny ears? I never processed that
all
before.
I despise into darkness. And within that black abyss, even your light shall flicker and fail.
Let's see about that.
Let us cast the stalks and look upon the fate of Doma. I see a future in which the sun sets on this wretched land. Once and for all!
Right. Will I get as lucky with my queue time as I did with the Four Lords? Minutes. Oh. Noisy print. Printers are designed to cause problems. Oh, there's a... They just, of all the electronic devices, they just never work quite right. At least gives you the courtesy to print. Yeah, it is nice that they wait. So a few of the bosses do. I do wonder if now that they've got duty support for all the story dungeons, if they'll go back and start putting out duty support for trials, because I know they've got duty support in A Realm Reborn for Ifrit, Titan, and Garuda. Which one does have duty support? Let's go and investigate that. Yeah, you've got the Bowl of Embers, the Navel, the Howling Eye. Yeah, the Porter Ultima as well. Okay, so you don't have them for the post Realm Reborn. I think it's because those are easy. Yeah. But I think we know they do. They are capable of like developing NPCs capable of playing harder trials, because we see them do that in Endwalker. I won't say exactly what trial, because maybe spoilers. So I'm just wondering if now that they've done the dungeons, if they are going to go back and add duty support for, because it wasn't part of the whole idea for duty support to get the game. Yeah, it's only Endwalker that you see duty support for full party of 8, and that's only for one of the trials. It definitely works. Like it was one of those cool moments, and one of the few moments where I'm kind of like, because normally I never used a trust system or duty support. Oh no, I did. No, I suppose I did, but I was never so glad to have duty support until that scene in Endwalker, because they hyped it up as everyone finally getting to fight together, and for such a critical battle. Because I think I'd read somewhere like, what isn't part of the motivation behind introducing duty support to get Final Fantasy XIV into a place where theoretically it could be taken offline but still playable, because you don't need other people anymore. Because I suppose that's the one downside to having a game in MMO format, is that MMOs need constant maintenance and constant upkeep, which of course takes a lot of development time in a company to stop them focusing on other projects. It'd be a shame if at one point where they decide that Final Fantasy XIV isn't, if it ever gets to a stage where it's not earning enough or has just been going on too long, that they can't afford to focus on it, that they'd be able to take it offline but still let people play through it entirely. I don't imagine that would be the case for many years at that stage. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, online features not necessarily, because there are some, like one of my favorite games is Supreme Commander Forged Alliance, and it still has, the multiplayer there still works, you can still play it fine multiplayer, even though the company that maintains it doesn't exist anymore. Gas-powered games shut down. But it still allows for connections. I suppose it might just be a case of figuring out how to. I suppose that's something I don't understand though about game technology is the network, like the infrastructure in the game. Like, is it capable of making it offline, or does the game at a fundamental level require an internet connection, or some level of connection to a system? Like, is it even possible to change it to a situation where the duty finder rather it's kind of just like a matchmaking system? That this is the only point where you can connect? It's like, yeah. See, I still. I don't really play mobile games. My phone's not big enough to install a game on it on top of everything else. I need to get an SD card for it so I can actually up the storage space. I still very much remember when I first started gaming, like online games there weren't many of them and they definitely weren't big. Oh, there we go. There was RuneScape, which was the first MMO I played. But most games I still kind of remember and like the time where you bought a game and you got the game, that was it. I like RuneScape, but it's so grindy for me. Okay. Even as a god, she still needs to smoke.
Oh, it's going to be a long night.
Remember how to play samurai? I have.
Your end is near.
Ooh. It's been a while since I've been in this trial. Some people in the Christmas. Oh, of course. It's all. I think you always see it when there's an event, when there's a event on that gives new items. People are always. I still have to get around to doing the Starlight event. That's the summoner. Oh, did we lose the summoner? Oh, right. Guessing this is bad.
Beg for mercy. Your death will be all the sweeter.
Ow! What's going on? It's on her spine. Let's see. Let's. This is. I don't know if you said. Oh, yeah. We're not allowed nice things. Asahi.
This cannot be!
Xenos. No. Come on. This is... Of course it's... He's fighting back against the spite in her mind?
In darkness blooms the spider lily. From mortal husk I rise anew. Suffused with night, I shall prevail.
What is... Are these? Oh, the other ones.
Beg them.
Is it force that you have to avoid getting in this one again?
In moonlight's chill shine petals pale.
Right.
Whoa! Beg them.
Okay.
No. Not yet. Not yet. I'll grind you under my heel.
This is... Right.
I'll grind you under my heel.
Come on. That was...
Whoa!
Did you do it? Realize I'm like, oh. You were able to pay more attention than I was. Did we... Something's... Is she still... Daddy's bear? Oh, I guess you're getting the accommodation. This isn't like with He's ill. It's like she's still holding on to the transformation. It's over. What? That was... Asahi. Your own sister. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. If I'm in character,
you must learn to finish the job.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad you don't have to really interact. Like, you don't have to interact in character with other people.
'Tis true that a gaudy mirror and a handful of crystals make for a feeble summoning. But even the weakest icon is a god of sorts. A threat that must be put down.
A threat that you created. What are you...
My, such hostility. These beings are the sworn enemies of the Empire. I merely did my duty as an Imperial officer. Will you surrender to anger then? Slay an anointed emissary to avenge a fallen foe?
You...
Ha! You cannot, of course! To do so would burn the bridges we have labored so hard to build.
Bridges you have already burned.
Oh, but I'm forgetting. They're already ash. This Dorman woman has seen to that. The Empire cannot ally itself with any nation that refuses to renounce summoning. I believe I was most clear on that point.
That's the case, Asahi. You've just destroyed the only reason I have for not killing you here.
It should have been mine. The power he bestowed upon her. I should have been the one to govern Doma. I would have repaid his faith.
This is what it all comes down to.
No one alive loves him more than I!
Instead, this harlot betrayed his trust. Useless piece of filth! Worthless whore!
Thank you, dear brother, for this precious gift. Vengeance.
Kohryu?
These people, our people, they ignore the corruption which festers beneath the surface. Cast aside that which is dirty and broken. Speak not of things which would disrupt their dreary little lives. Like you, Asahi. Always pretending not to see. You were the first. The first I swore to kill. Such bliss. I had thought my hunger insatiable. But now I am satisfied. You should feel honored, dear brother. I saved the last of my strength, just for you.
Yotsu? He's definitely dead.
What's the matter? The Witch of Doma will soon be dead.
I can't forgive you. But I think I can understand.
Her happiness was never to be. Not in this world. I wonder, was the fruit as sweet as he remembered?
Tsukiyomi's Aether. That means...
Lord Xenos!
You're still alive. Middle of Imperial castrum really isn't a...
Lord Xenos.
No.
I am at your disposal.
Asahi, you were born of Doma, yes?
Yes, my lord. I am honored that you would remember me. How may I serve?
You are hereby appointed Ambassador Plenipotentiary, and empowered to speak with the voice of the Emperor. Return to your native land of Doma, and announce your intention.
I saw him die. By his own hand. How?
Peace.
Once negotiations are underway, you are to locate the acting Viceroy.
She lives? That is to say, I will, my lord.
It's a nice touch that they do recognize that how he quote unquote died.
When you have found her, you will initiate a ritual to call forth an icon. I will instruct you in the necessary steps. Yotsuyu's faith is unreliable, but as a child raised to believe in the Kami, she will serve as a vessel for one of the Kojin's gods. She need only wish it to be so.
Suppose of all Imperial Xenos did use all the power of a primal before.
The power will seem a gift, but the icon's essence will consume her.
He shouldn't be doing anything
She will
right
be no
now.
more than a husk, a slave to whim and desire.
My lord, ever since the day you saw fit to save my miserable life, I have dreamed of repaying your benevolence. Upon my honor, I swear to devote myself wholly to your service. All that you command will be done, no matter the cost. But I Fear the subtleties of your plan yet elude me. From the reports I have heard, the champion who aids the Doman resistance would make short work of a single icon.
The icon is merely a message. The pacifist teachings of the Populares spread through this city like a plague. And I would remind the people of the threat we face. You will be my chosen agent. The hand which tolls the warning bell. The salvation of this world will not be won through the signing of treaties.
Your chosen agent. I will not fail you, my lord.
That was the plan? But... Xenos lives?
My master, Lord Xenos. He will come for you.
You have prevailed, I see.
Lord Hien. Gosetsu?
She is gone? Wherefore did the Kami spare us, only to inflict this pain?
I have...
Death shall not want for company this day. You spared us a worse disaster, but I fear our fledgling peace with the Empire was beyond saving.
It was never there in the first place, Lord Hien.
Lord Hien!
You're... one of Asahi's attendants, right?
Maximo, is it not? I assumed you long fled.
Maximo...
I entertain thoughts of escape even now. But our negotiations have yet to reach a satisfying conclusion. The ambassador insisted that the summoning spelled an end to our mission here. But it seemed to me there was more to the tale.
Wait. Yeah. I saw something in Asahi's past. I don't want to believe it,
I have heard tell of this power you wield. And in your vision, you witnessed Lord Xenos giving these orders.
But how can that be? Xenos is dead. He took his own life after the battle in Alamigo.
I don't know, Lord Hien, but these visions have never been wrong before. I saw his body
with my own eyes.
So did I.
Forgive me, but Lord Xenos is very much alive. He granted our party an audience prior to our departure. That he was gravely wounded is certain, but his recovery appeared to be proceeding apace.
I'm afraid I share Lord Hien's confusion. The man's death was confirmed and his remains interred. These are matters of public record.
Something's going on.
I have no doubt you believe what you say. But what then is the explanation? That an impostor has infiltrated the innermost circle of the Imperial Court? The idea is inconceivable, absurd. But worthy of investigation nonetheless. Our movement can ill afford to have a highly placed pretender undermining our efforts.
So, your
efforts may yet bear fruit. Tell me, what is to become of our prisoner exchange? Though we have already taken custody of our conscripts, we have yet to release your Imperial comrades. Do you still intend to collect them?
Yes. As the late Ambassador's second-in-command, it falls to me to speak on the Empire's behalf. And I'm happy to confirm our intent to proceed according to the original agreement.
Then let us be about it. 'Twould be a pity to abandon such a promising beginning.
So, something good might still actually come of this?
You have my thanks, Lord Hien. As soon as our people are secure aboard our airship, we shall depart straightways for Garlemald.
Tread lightly, Pilus. I sense treachery awaits you there.
Alphino?
Might I accompany you to the capital?
Alphino?
Alphino, have you gone mad?
Imposter or no, if Xenos was instructing Asahi on the finer points of ritual summoning, then experience tells us there is an Asian waiting in the wings.
That's
Without our knowledge and expertise, our new friends will be hard-pressed to contend with a foe for whom death is but a minor inconvenience. They need our help.
Were you indeed willing to share your knowledge of this enemy, we would not shun your counsel.
You truly mean to do this? In full knowledge of the danger?
Literally walking right into the midst of our enemies.
I have seen the Warrior of Light risk his life on countless occasions. Next to him, I'm scarce more than a distraction on the battlefield. But in the meeting room or the audience chamber, there I can make a difference. I can strike bargains, forge ties, and change minds. And where better to do these things than in the home of our old enemy?
I'll trust you, Alphino. Look after yourself out there.
'Tis not for me to stop you. But I would have you consider an alternative arrangement. Rather than braving the Empire as a simple traveler, go forth as an emissary of Doma. Such a position should offer you some measure of protection.
Go then. You've obviously made up your mind. Just try not to do anything reckless, all right?
I shall be on my best behavior. Farewell, my friends.
Just be careful, alright? Reckless Alfred? Never. Alphino's grown enough to be careful, I think. Lord Hien, I knew Asahi was planning some manner of treachery, but summoning? Thank to Kami you are here, my friend. None of us would have escaped Yotsu's vengeance had you not intervened. She was a pawn, aye, but she still had a choice, and she chose to submit to the ambassador's plan. This little wonder Gosetsu departed in silence. I gather he left the same way he came, alone aboard a rowing boat. As for the conscripts, most made it to the Sekibune before the battle began in earnest, but the vessel yet waits on the riverbank for those who did not flee in time. And I would suggest we put this doleful place behind us and make for the Enclave together. It would be a shame to miss the joyous reunion. At least something good came out of all of this. my net is more stable.
How often
compared
have
to
I
the prior
imagined this moment? Thank you for helping it come to pass.
Huh. Very little buffer. That's interesting because technically the internet here should be worse than at the apartment. I was expecting it to kind of maybe not be too different, but I wasn't expecting it to be better. Not quite used to this kind of attention. The only time's really slowed down on mine. Yeah, I suppose the Yotsu during the fights, there's maybe a bit of the visuals are changing quite quickly. Move as butter otherwise. So
Ah, there you are.
Gositsu? Are you okay to be Gositsu?
Gosetsu, your hair.
My friend, what have you done?
It was an unexpected change.
An old man who cannot raise his blade has no place in the service of a young lord. Thus did I decide to devote my remaining days to pilgrimage. I will walk this land, offering prayers of repose for all the souls who left this life in suffering.
You're leaving?
All of them?
That's... I don't feel there's any stopping him. You look after yourself out there, Gosetsu.
A fulsome farewell makes for an enjoyable journey.
Scarcely have we said our goodbyes to Alphino, and you leave us too. But 'tis well that my companions find their own way forward. I must endeavor to do the same.
I suppose, yeah, like at this stage, Stormblood was... How old is Stormblood now? Was it 2016? They've had plenty of time to work on improving it. And I suppose it's maybe good to see that there are notable improvements from expansion to expansion. Like they're showing that they're not just satisfied with the quality they have at that moment.
I have faith that you will find the best path for Doma without me, my lord. Pray forgive me this last act of selfishness, and grant me your blessing.
I wouldn't have any idea what consoles ended which. I haven't used a... I think Xbox 360 was the last console I had that was kind of at the moment. And since then I've been more or less a pure PC gamer.
You have earned it 1,000 times over. Go in peace, my friend. I shall make of Doma a land where children laugh and none need live in fear.
There is no better way to honor those who went before. And with that, I take my leave.
Safe travels, Gosetsu. Okay, so yeah, it would. I guess it would have been before then. I don't imagine they'd have released it if they dropped server support before it even released. Yeah, I suppose that probably as well, like, helps lean into it. That if they knew they could just focus on making it suitable for the PlayStation 4, that they didn't have to worry about making it still function on the PS3. Ah, Gosetsu. Fair journey to you, my friend. A bittersweet occasion, but there's yet ample cause to be grateful. Pray join us in Dikenkan. I would thank you properly. Right. Yeah. I wonder if that'll be with... Yeah, that'll be because they are like doing a massive like overhaul for the graphics with Dawn Trail, aren't they? Excuse me. Our brothers and sisters are returned to us, and the dream of Doma's restoration is that much closer to being realized. It is a day that will live long in memory, and one that would never have dawned without the courageous actions of the Scions. On behalf of Doma and her people, we give you our deepest thanks. I'm just glad I could be of help. I know it wasn't all good news. Lest you think me complacent, I assure you I have not forgotten the dark cloud on the horizon. That Xenos yet lives is a source of grave concern. Mayhap the gravest. Yet there's little to be done but wait for Alphino to send word. Until then, I plan to devote myself to fulfilling the promise I made to Gosetsu, by building a nation in which none need live in fear. I confess I miss him already. But the thought that he has at last found peace goes some way to softening the blow. I wonder, did you ever stop to ask yourself why he showed Yotsuyu such kindness? I believe the answer lies in past tragedy, specifically the death of his wife and daughter during the invasion. Though he hid it well, they were never far from his thoughts. And in Yotsuyu's childlike mien, I believe he saw not a fallen tyrant, but the little girl who was lost to him. After the loss of his family, Gosetsu devoted himself wholly to the service of his country. He suffered any hardship, strove beyond the limits of endurance without hesitation or complaint. Though Tsuyu could never truly replace his daughter, I had hoped that with her at his side, he might live out the remainder of his days in relative contentment. Would that the Kami had been so minded. Even now I labor to discern any meaning in Yotsuyu's fate. To deliver her from certain death, with no memory of her sins, only to leave her at the mercy of her stepbrother. Can that truly have been their will? That I cannot tell you. The will of the Kami is not for us to know. But what I do know is that, for a brief moment, a girl known as Tsuyu lived among us, and that she brought with her a whisper of respite for a grieving heart. Suppose we always have to look at the good in things. Wait, something I'm curious about, because I kind of keep forgetting to think about it. But I was curious, Minnie, because I missed them on your streams. But how did you deal with the playing as different characters in series streams? Like, did you just drop voicing as Seri, or? Because it's getting quite close to the first moment where that happens, isn't it? I think it's time we were going, don't you? We've done all we can here, and we have a lot to report. But before we head back to the Rising Stones, let's call in at Ralgar's Reach. We should be the ones to tell Lisa about Xenos. After everything we went through together, we owe her that. Right. Suppose if anyone would be concerned about the return of Xenos, it would be the Alamegans. The Resistance. It's hardly been any time since they finally got rid of him. How could he have survived? For all the things he was, Xenos didn't seem like a trickster. Doesn't seem like the kind to fake his own death. At least not as his own hands. Sorin, Asahi, you're back. No, Alphino? It's good to see you, Lise. That's my headstrong brother. He's off on what will almost certainly turn out to be a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Garlemald. But it's a long story, but we have evidence that Xenos might still be alive. What? But that's... If this is a joke... Gods, this has better be a joke. Certain... What do you mean, yes, certainly? Look, I know what I saw, right? We all saw it. And here you are saying he's alive and well and living the high life back in Garlemald? At least, I was there too. I wouldn't be saying this if I wasn't at least mostly sure. I know how ludicrous this sounds. I'm still having difficulty believing it myself, but while I might doubt the word of an Imperial envoy, I'm inclined to trust Sorin's. He saw the Crown Prince through the Echo, in a meeting that could only have taken place in the recent past. Oh yes, this will certainly... This will once in a lifetime trip. Yeah. It was Xenos I saw. As much as I want to believe otherwise. No, it must have been, I don't know, some kind of really convincing imposter. Xenos is dead. He had a great big hole in his neck. We buried him. Aye, and someone went to the trouble of desecrating the bastard's grave, remember? Oh, who's this talking? Halls gilded halls. Whatever are you talking about? Someone's censoring himself. Banquet would censor himself? A Banquet? What brings you to the Reach? Alphino had me lending a hand in the Saltery, keeping an eye on the rebuilding work and so on. Just until operations were up and running. And now that they are, I thought I might look in on you before wending my weary way back to headquarters. Forgive me if I misheard, but is there some suggestion the late Crown Prince could have gotten better? If so, might I suggest a quick look inside his coffin as our first order of business? As much as I hated the man, it doesn't feel right defiling his grave, but if it will put the rumor to rest, I suppose we have to. And when there are no curious eyes about, if we can manage it. Xenos is buried up a blood hoe in the locks. His grave was set apart from the others and left unmarked, so as not to upset the locals. Then it shouldn't be too hard to find. Nago, you're in charge until I get back. Right. Maybe it was... It could just be an imposter, right? There's always that... Always a chance it could be a glamour or something. The weather's right for this kind of situation. No sign of Ixion. Not that I have the time or skill to participate, even if there was. Right. It's unmarked. Great. I suppose I can just look for the others. Oh, there they are. So this is it. Police? This is it. God's it better be in there. Someone scrawled all over the stone a while ago, but I had it scrubbed off and thought no more about it. So no one thought to check if the coffin was still occupied. Well then, we are presented with but one course of action, and we had best be sure we are not observed into doing of it. Shall we begin? Hopefully the weather will keep us hidden. Right. Oh. Certainly heavy.
Oh dear. We seem to be missing a corpse.
That's... Then Xenos really is...
Well, it must be somewhere. I only hope it isn't walking around.
Given what I've seen, Asahi. There's no corpse, then are we to conclude the rumors are true? Not necessarily. We might still be dealing with a doppelganger of some kind. An agent could have been sent to dispose of the body in a bid to lend credence to the tale of Xenos' resurrection. More and more, however, I find myself siding with Alphino's theory of Asian possession. Speaking from experience, I can tell you they have no qualms about taking a living host, let alone a dead one. I suppose that's right, an Asian could have possessed the body. You're saying an Asian is walking around in Xenos' body? It seems a distinct possibility. Once I have put this grave back the way we found it, I shall pay a visit to the people responsible for interring the Crown Prince. Before leaping to any conclusions, I want to know for sure if a body was ever buried here, and how certain we are that Xenos was properly dead. If he wasn't, that was some trick. He as good as cut his own head off. Anyway, Roban needs to hear about this. If you find anything out, send word to me at Ralka's Reach. I don't know why I'm surprised. With matters settling down in Doma, we were due another crisis. Shall we make for the Rising Stones then? It's past time we shared these developments with the others. Right. Thancred, see you around. It's right, it couldn't be Xenos. It has to be something else. Asahi? While I was waiting for you to arrive, I spoke with Ryonji over Link Pearl and gave him a full report. Ishtolar's on our way and should be here any... Asahi, Sorin, It's good to see you safe and well. What news have you from the east? Mostly good news, I think. Disturbing developments indeed. Given all that we know, I too would conclude that an Asian now inhabits Xenos' body. A doppelganger might fool a crown prince's subordinates, but Sorin? Nay, Alphino has the right of it. But did this wisdom extend it to the question of his own safety? Capable though he has become, he ventures alone into the enemy's stronghold, and the shadowy web of the Paragons like as not. I'm still worried about him. When it comes to making rash decisions, I'm hardly in a position to criticize, but I'm worried. I just wish there was something I could do for him besides pray. Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace. We cannot suffer icons to exist. Was I not clear on this point? More than clear. The icon in question was suddenly dispatched by the Warrior of Light. Someone who is dead and the right beyond repeating. Everything proceeded according to plan. Every party behaving exactly as required. My methods may seem extreme, but there is no cause for concern. I work only to ensure the salvation of this star. That's from Abania, isn't it? What are you doing fiddling with that thing? I asked you a question, soldier. What are you... Have you lost your mind? Suppose in a way he has lost his mind. Or it's the opposite, isn't it? He's lost everything but his mind. I have lost many things, but my mind is yet my own. There upon the stage I stood, prepared to take my final blow, only to find that the finale was but an intermission. Shall I use this chance to repent for my sins? Embrace goodness and mediocrity? Nay, I think not. While the one I yearn to face yet lives, the hunt must go on. That is, I'm assuming, the end of the patches. New Sun. What was the first? What was the first patch called again? Yeah, that was the end of the first. This one feels a little shorter. Only 6 quests. But I got the achievement, which normally is the indication you've hit the end of a patch. Yeah, the Under the Moon. Next is Emissary of the Dawn. Okay, so yeah, I think that is the patch finished. Which means it'll be the end of the stream. I'm planning there'll only be, before the new year, 2 more streams for Sorin's Journey. Because I kind of realized a few things that I want to do. It also means the other streams are probably likely to be longer streams than normal. Because I've realized I'm on stream 97 in Sorin's Journey, and there's 2 patches left. So if I do 1 stream per patch, I will be at stream 99. Which means when I start this is just me being pedantic and about things, and kind of I have the opportunity to start Shadowbringers exactly on my 100th Sorin stream. Which, there's no real reason for me doing it that way. It just feels like a nice number to round things out. But I also plan to kind of leave starting Shadowbringers until the new year, because between now and New Year, there's going to be my stream schedule is going to be a bit more hectic and played by ear, just because of all the family meetups and things happening. And I want to kind of, because I am very looking forward to Sorin's journey through Shadowbringers, I want to make sure I can do it regularly. So I'm planning to wait until the new year to start Shadowbringers. So, as for this week, I've still got 4 more streams this week. Tomorrow, I plan to finish off Catherine in the afternoon. I say plan to because I'm not quite sure that we're close enough to the end to actually finish it. I'm just assuming this feels very final boss. Vincent's Shadow. So Thursday, I think, will be Sorin's Journey again, and then on Friday I will be playing Abzu. I have no idea how many streams Abzu is going to be. I've just been told it's very good and I should play it. And I think I should, because I do have quite a thing for underwater environments in video games. And that means Saturday will probably be Sorin's Journey again, which means we might have all post Stormblood content finished by the end of the week. Which means, yeah, over Christmas, New Year's week, my streams are probably going to be smaller games, because I'll be holding off on Sorin's Journey until then. Games that will be coming up, Final Fantasy II will be taken over from Catherine once it's finished. And I've got some other games, The Unfinished Swan, What Remains of Edith Finch, and The Bunny Graveyard. So those will probably be the main games I'll be looking at over the holiday period. But those announcements will come out closer to the time. So, with all that said, if you want, you can follow me on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube. But regardless of what you choose to do, thank you so much for coming along. I really hope you enjoyed. And until next time I see you, have a good evening, have a good night, And until next stream, goodbye.